Well, it is 6 p.m. We could take a minute and face the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I feel bad, I forgot to put it back when I was eating.
It's all right. It's close enough to the corner. So we called the meeting open at 6 p.m. and we did the Pledge of Allegiance. Has everybody seen the agenda?
Let's just do half of it.
We'll do the first 4, stop, and we'll stop.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Excuse me. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we have 4. Darla is out. How about the minutes of December 6th? And I can't even speak much about the 20th, aside from what I read. Need a motion, well, wait a minute, wait just one moment. So we started at 6, obviously. Approval of the agenda by Dave, motion, and seconded by Linda. All in favor? Darla is absent. So now we're on to number 4.
Thank you.
We would need a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 6th and December 2021 meetings.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve those minutes of December 6th and 20th, 2021 meetings. Any other discussion or input? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? In favor. We'll move on to public input.
I have public input. Couple questions concerning the downtown garbage cans. When I had suggested that before, when we had our older folks having to trot across the street with their trash, and I had suggested a central dumping place where they could just load the sag bag up in their car and take it down and dump it. The argument was made that, well, we've got these outside people that have come in and dropped their trash. That's kind of an oxymoron, just putting cans out. The other thing is there's 2 cans in the park, and the last I checked, the one was clear full. And so we still have that problem. It would be nice if we could put a central place in where, if they're going to do it, let some of our older folks load it up in their car and chuck it in the central catch. Okay. The resolution of the fees, I think that should have been put on the website. It was not. Even if it's just a suggestion kind of thing, so people can get an idea. I've had calls concerning the garbage and the water, rates going up. I can't blame them.
Wait just a minute. Garbage went up?
I'm sorry, the sewer.
Yes.
Oh,
The sewer.
sewer.
I misspoke, the sewer. And I understand we have a fund from the profits that we make off charging on the water and charging on the sewer to put back into the infrastructure with that, an enterprise fund. And I understand that, but lately we've been robbing the enterprise funds to pay for other things, and I'm not sure it's getting back. The other thing is that the meters don't appear to be accurate, and I am going to bring up one instance or two instances where I overheard a conversation, and it's been a while back, but it was a little bit cold out, or a lot cold out, and the meter reading wasn't done. It was put off, and the suggestion was, well, we'll just do a guesstimate. And albeit, I just overheard it, I can't prove it, but if that's what's happening, we probably should not do things like that. Going on to executive session on salaries, do we have anybody that works for the city that's on salary?
We have one,
And who's that?
Landon.
Landon is on salary, okay. I'm questioning, first of all, the way it was stated, that salaries of generality is open session material. Specific salary for a specific person, that's when you go into executive session. So that's touching on that. The other thing I've got a question on is the volunteer roster, naming Pat and Wanda. They're already on the payroll, so they should already be on a workman's comp somewhere. I noticed that was tied to the community center. I'm still at a loss why that's necessary. I don't believe it's necessary. And if we're being dinged in two different departments for the same people, again, oxymoron. Why are we doing this? Why are we double dipping? And the last thing I had is a resident had their name shared, and I had asked that an apology be made to that resident. I suggested that in my blog that it be in writing. Has that happened, or has that just been blown off?
I don't know what you mean by resident.
No, I think you were gone, wasn't he? Was that at the last meeting? I think the mayor was gone.
Okay. Well,
Who is the resident?
Aranda.
I apologize directly to her.
Okay, okay.
Via text.
I'm just following up on that.
And documented.
Okay, okay, I just wanted to follow up on that, and thank you.
Thank you. Any other public input?
I got a little bit here.
Yeah.
The other night I got a phone call from Faye Hendricks, and he wanted to just give a thanks to the police officers. He had read in an article that Austin was involved in a high-speed chase that came through town on New Year's. And he said it's a thankless job being a police officer, because he said when you walk up to a window on a car or whatever vehicle it may be, and you don't know what you're going to walk yourself up to, he says when he was in the military, he says it was a lot of nerve-wracking moments.
Same thing, yeah.
So he says he wanted me to bring it up, council, that he really gives you thanks, and he means it. So.
Well, thank you, and I'll pass it along to Grayson.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
an amazing thing.
Yep. Thank you.
It was good that it was documented too. I
Yep.
mean, it was well documented. That's pretty cool. So, any other public input? Hearing none, we'll go on to the policy, or excuse me, police policy procedure manual. We've got a new copy. It says adopted to be inserted. Is this a full policy manual?
Yes.
Okay, so,
We just need to put the date that we adopt it, correct?
So if
We discussed this for some time. at last
yep,
meeting.
I know you did, but, and I see there's a number of yellow spots in it, so I can't even speak intelligently about this because I didn't know what you talked about beforehand, but, I mean, I see the things in yellow and I think, well, they make sense, but,
well, I think, yeah, we went over it last time, and On the last, I would say last policy, on page 27, I added the on-duty injury or illness, which relates to the workman's comp issue that was brought up. Other than that, is there any other questions?
The only comment that I have is on page 29, it's part of the forms. This form will need to be updated. Obviously, the rates of pay in there are not accurate, and this is in the understanding that an officer is going to be traveling to Pier instead of a closer academy location. So those right now are the changes that I know that we'll have to make. And I will draft some of those changes and then send them to you and Sam for review.
Well, I think that'd be something for Sam to do, and we could definitely easily just insert it here whenever
Yep.
it's,
Yep.
I mean, it's a policy manual, it can easily be updated within the next meeting if needed, so. Otherwise, it can be updated whenever we know that somebody's gonna be going to the academy, so. Cause I'm sure everything's gonna change on a year-to-year basis, so. But right now, this was something that I think was worked on for 3 years, so.
Yeah. Do we have any upcoming date for a slot for?
That was gonna be a part of my little update here.
We'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, we will get there in a minute.
Don't want to rush things, I'm sorry.
So we would need, unless there's more discussion regarding the procedure and policy manual, we would need a motion to approve the updates accordingly.
I'll make a motion to update the police policy and procedure manual by Chief Sculler.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the updates to the policy manual, the police policy and procedure manual, effective January 10th, 2022. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, let's go on to the police department update.
All right, I got a few things, just, I'll try to be quick for you guys. Got an email last week, I think it was Thursday or Friday. Gal from the Law Enforcement Training Center, which is the academy, sent me an email that there is gonna be a Sioux Falls Academy this year as well. Just like last year, I was kind of in talks with her, hoping to get Grayson in that, which would help. Obviously, not only with city fuel prices, but with, you know, his as well. You know, him being short distance instead of being stuck at Pier for 13 weeks. There's an opening in March. That is the only information that I have. It's March to July. There's no specific dates yet, but I said, of course, I want him involved with that.
You spoke tentatively for that opening.
And then it's the same curriculum and everything, and it's kind of a smaller class size too, so I think that's always a benefit as well with a smaller class size, so. I gave you guys a little 4-page paper this month for our staff. I think I did it just because we had a month in between our meetings, so wanted to let you guys go through that. Obviously, we had another incident, which Lucas kind of made a little comment to. Everything was, you know, went through safely, as safe as possible. You know, some persons coming into town, dangerous speeds with dangerous drugs on them. We were able to get them stopped safely with no accidents or anything and get some stuff off the street.
as bad as it was, it turned out pretty well.
Yep, for sure, especially if you only went one town over and,
Yeah.
you know, it was ended, so. Very thankful for the equipment that's provided and kinda helped us out. Other than that, it's obviously 4 pages, a little busy month. But I think I'm gonna give Linda, I got 2 copies, I just wanted to give you guys another comparison of 2020 and 2021, our numbers for the year. I just printed off this basic sheet, but a whole year's worth in one packet. I think I'll give it to Linda in case you guys wanna flip through it. I think in 2020 we had 723 CFS numbers, not case numbers in general. And then in 2021 we had 958.
958.
Yep,
It's a pretty big jump.
was 6 months by myself.
Yeah.
So, that's all I got for updates.
Okay, well, how about the spring training in Deadwood, April 18th through the 21st, Chief?
Alright, it's something that I think every chief has made the opportunity, was given the opportunity to go to. I've always heard, obviously, it's great training. I think it's 4 days worth of training. Maybe 3. But, I'm just asking to, you know, be sent out there and be approved for a 3-night hotel stay. Some people stay 4 nights, but, spoke with the Beersford chief and he's gonna just take off right after on the 21st, which I feel, you know, save a little bit of money and then obviously don't wanna be gone for 4 days if it only has to be 3 or 4 instead of 5, I guess. It is April 18th through the 21st, 3 nights, and then I spoke with the gal and she said it was $77 a night for the hotel, which I thought was actually really reasonable. And then I think in years prior, it's always been something, and I just asked, you know, it's been something in the past where there was a +1. It's just something that I asked for as well, and obviously it's a great training where I can meet with other chiefs and sheriffs, share ideas, and go through some great training.
So, is this on a weekend?
No, it's a Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Monday
Friday.
through Thursday, so we're gonna have to find somebody to take over, because Grayson's gonna be at the academy then, right?
I will work through that.
Okay. Just wanna make sure, either that or the county.
I'll talk with our part-timers, see if they can, and obviously
Okay.
I've had a good relationship with the sheriff's office, so we'd be able to keep the city covered.
And the +1, how do we do that? Can they?
They're just given a waiver to travel.
Yeah,
with
because
them,
it's
and
not
then-
gonna be any more per night.
Yeah.
If your +1 decides to attend the banquet, the only thing we've asked in the past is, and when the municipal league does the invitation or the registration form, they do indicate that out separately.
Okay.
If a spouse wants to attend the banquet,
Mhm.
it's a charge for them.
So much for the meal.
For the meal,
Correct.
okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
Which, if anything, I could pay for it too, it's a meal, so
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be,
I think it's like $40 or something like that, so.
I think in the last at least 3 years, we've just absorbed the cost for +1.
No, the chief paid, I'm sorry, Jeff Christie paid a personal check along when I sent in the other, that check was included.
Gotcha. Well, we would need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve Chief Sculler attending the 3-night stay for $77 per night using the city patrol car.
And regarding the +1,
with a +1.
so that at least tells me I can have him just take care of a waiver and they can travel together in the patrol car. And is there any other discussion?
I'll second.
No, I'm sorry. That's a good point.
Thanks, Dave.
You missed one meeting, you just kind of.
Yeah, just do it, just do it. Okay. How about now that we have a motion and a second, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chief, you're on your way.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Settle down.
We said okay.
He's already on his way to Deadwood.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, we will now move on to number 8, and that's Clint Irene for Community Center. An update.
Oh, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Not sure where to start since this is our first month and we're given kind of see how we did. I know Pat and I had got together about the budget for the month of December, and we set it a little low from what she originally had. I didn't think we were going to do it quite as much as we did, but the community turnout, or community support and such really bumped our numbers. So we had budgeted 6,500 in sales, which we had dropped from 8,500, and well, we did like 2,600.
No,
Or
that's.
1,000, I mean.
Yeah, so a lot of difference.
26,711 from what my computer report said.
That's for the month of December.
For the month of December, yes. Out of that about 2,500 of it was the two parties that we had for
Quality Park.
Quality Park, and then the Barnes family Christmas party. And then actually another about 3,200 we collected from New Year's Eve, which went very well, and I keep hearing comments on it. So
It was very good.
that and some of the I didn't write down all the numbers, but I did notice that we had like about $320 in comps, and that was more due to training, was punching wrong numbers in and such, so it didn't delete because they had pushed it through, so we had to end up comping it back to the system.
That's just because of the training.
It was due to
staff.
training, yeah, it was due to training staff and stuff. It wasn't due to bad food or anything. We had, well, not bad food or services, but we did have, I think we actually only had one complaint where we actually discounted, maybe two, so it was like maybe $40 in most, if I remember correctly, through what had happened.
And the other comps, according to
Were all mistakes.
glitches, were how much, about 320?
It was
bucks?
320, yeah,
Yeah,
roughly.
okay.
But a lot of that was just mistakes and not knowing the system correctly because of the training in which we were trying to train, and the community didn't want to let us train. So much for our soft open. I know roughly, I'm not sure the correct number on this, but it's about 14 to 16,000 we spent with food and and other supplies that we use to begin everything out. Our monthly inventory that we started out and continued through the month. I have to get together with the golf committee and finish out the rest of those numbers to see where we sit on food and labor cost, and then what I have for a beginning and an ending monthly inventory, which I will hopefully share every first of the month with the council. So that we have an idea where the money is going and, you know, not into the back of my car. Other than that, I shared with you guys, we've been in the paper a couple times now already. Once for the New Year's, once for the beginning,
Great pictures.
which Gordon did pictures of and participated in New Year's. And now we have Katie Anderson came up from the area-wide advertiser and did a small piece this past Saturday with Landon and I. So this will be the front page, I believe it comes out tomorrow. So when the advertiser hits?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday then. So big write-up, a little bit of, or not a big write-up, but a big full front page
Yeah,
of
front page, that's good.
of such, so it'll bring more, should bring more business and a little free advertising. It cost us $5 on lunch, so I think that worked out pretty good.
I think so. Yeah, I would say.
Wow, that's really cool.
Other than that, training's going well. Kids are getting better at what they're doing. I'm getting better at organizing them. Minus scheduling issues. We are working on, I gave you guys a copy of the newly updated menu. Prices are off to the side now that, so people aren't going, well, where's the price at? And why is it six wings or such? So now we have, it makes more sense to most people who look at it.
I thank you. My husband even said something to me. He goes, what is
Oh,
this?
you're not the only one. There's a lot of people, what is this? I'm like, okay, well, it's all in a line format. It didn't matter to me how it was done as long as it was further away from the item. And once we get going through and I figure out whether or not there's any dogs on it or if there's something that I may need to add to it and such, we will update and share that with everyone. Started the prime rib this weekend, went over well, sold both of the ones I had. My only issue is I have to bring somebody in to adjust my bottom oven. It is not working correctly, and then I will, it's a calibration issue. It's off by, or it's above 75 degrees, so it burns stuff when you're not looking. So I attempted to do it, but I don't have the strong enough screwdriver to get in there to do it. But I don't know if I need to call somebody or if I find a skinnier screwdriver, one of the two. Oh yeah, we're working on.
Is it like a Phillips head adjustment?
It's about like your eyeglasses, the screw.
Really,
It's
that small?
That small, yes. I'm not used to it. It's right in the middle of the,
I've got a
the
really
dial.
long screwdriver, but it's a heavy duty.
yeah, I can find those. Those are a dime a dozen. It's the little ones you can't find.
Yeah.
And the one I have isn't long enough or strong enough to turn. Mine's more of a precision one.
Yeah,
Check
So, I
with
will-
George. He might have something
Yeah, I
down
was
there.
gonna-
Just stop down there and see.
See if I can find
He
somebody
might
that
have
just has the screwdriver or borrow something. Maybe Axel, or like you said, George might have one.
Yeah, he might have one down there.
Other than that, we have weekly staff meetings, every week mostly, at 3 o'clock to discuss what's going on, what we need to do. I know we're working on our employee manual for all the employees, updating and improving that. We should have that. I think it's mostly done, so should be able to get a copy maybe this month, I'm not for sure. That's something we'll discuss at tomorrow's meeting.
Should also be
Any of you
able
are
to-
free to join that if you want to listen or poke at us a little bit. It's 3 o'clock every Tuesday.
Should also be able to put together your own version of a, I don't know what you want to call an employee file that says, you know, who's working, when they're working, when they started, an employee.
Yes, I needed it. I need a copy of everybody's application and such, so I can start their individual file in case there's a termination or
I think that's a good
reprimand or
idea.
such.
Yeah.
That'd be just like any other, just like we do down here at the office for anybody that's on staff.
I do have employee folders started.
Okay. All I need is copies. You can keep the originals here if need be.
That'd be a good idea to have them there so you can review them too.
Well, it's not, yeah, I don't know about like anniversary dates or anything like that, but I'm more worried about emergency contact.
Sure.
You know, in case somebody happens to slip, fall, bumps their head and is not conscious, and I don't know, they have a pet name for their mom and dad on their phone, you know. And you can't get into it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's phone is locked. You know, God forbid somebody gets into my phone, because they'll never figure out who my wife is on my contacts.
That heat lamp or food warmer, is
Yes,
that
the
going?
heat lamp, Dave and I took care of that. Axel come up and put a plug-in in. I am going to take the old heat lamp down tomorrow and put all the additional hardware along with it in a Ziploc, so it can be done with.
The other
Go into
one's,
surplus or whatever, but it needs to be down out of the way, so when the new one does come in, then all we have to do is just install and plug it in and work. Or like this, make sure nothing goes wrong.
it's in transit here, so.
Well, good, that means it should be here this week, hopefully. Other than that, surprisingly, with no heat lamp, we have not had any cold food issues other than one to go, and I'm like, okay, well, it's cold out, your food to go. Part of it was either you being late or temperature, so I'm not gonna make a fuss about it. And if the person isn't, I already yacked at him, so. I'm like, well, this is the deal. Well, we'll wait until you get a heat lamp. I said, there's no need, just be here ahead of time. You know, don't diddle-dally around, especially when it's cold. Other than that, I don't think I have much else as far as,
So my wife and I get an opportunity to see quite regularly how many vehicles are parked there and how they're parked and so on. And one of the things that I've noticed, and I don't even know whether you guys have approached this with the employees, but typically there's a reserved section, whatever, away from the facility that's employee parking. So I see 2, 3, 5 cars, and then they're all pretty close to the building, and I think to myself, you know, they're not even open yet, so those have to be employees, but I don't know that because I've not been in there at that same time. So I just would, I guess I would suggest to you that you would do that. You would adopt a policy that employees park as far away, they don't have to park on my property, but they can park as far away as they can and still leave the closer places for patrons. That was just one thing she brought to my attention, and I said, that's a good idea.
we had discussed that, and we it is more on this one side where the golf cart building is that there seems to be cluster, and I park a little close too, just for the pure fact it's cold, and I don't wanna walk that
Yeah,
far.
I understand that. But even
And-
if you stayed on that same side, but just moved down.
I think everybody they move down that area, because we told them that's more or less the kind of, that side, more or less.
Sure.
It
would make it better for.
As far as the rest of, especially when we were busy, it seemed more like it was the middle that filled up more than
Yep.
anything, and then
I saw that.
the tree line, and then our 4 handicap
Handy.
spots when
Yeah.
there's people there. I will make another a note and emphasize that we
Just
park a little further
suggestion.
down the
I
line.
mean,
and
I
I'll
think
try to
it'll be
do the
better
same, too.
when it gets warmer, obviously.
It'll definitely get better when it's warmer, because, and then again, my issue, I park because I'm in and out of there, so it's just one of those, maybe I'll park over by the dumpster. One of those things. And then, speaking of dumpster, I talked to Dave about having the old golf course dumpster brought up and used for box recycling. It won't fit inside the cage, and if it sits along that one side, I don't know if it's too much of an issue, because the garbage can on a weekly basis with the bolted down boxes and such it still gets overflowing.
So does
So
that
what do we-
go
so
over
what
to
do we think?
Beersford?
What?
Does that go to Beersford for?
No, Lauren picks it up.
Oh, we already
It's
picked it
not
up.
really recycling, it's just going to the landfill, even though we
Right.
call it recycling.
Right.
I think there isn't room in our enclosure for the dumpster.
Sure.
And the grease
With the grease dumpster in there too.
dumpster and the regular dumpster. So Clint was wondering if we could put it right beside it. There's a nose parking spot there.
Oh, yeah.
But if it's been removed, I guess it's,
No, it's still there.
oh, I thought it was
But
removed.
we'll have to contact Lauren and see if that's gonna work.
Would you face it to the south then, so he would just back up and grab it?
We can face it.
Yes, it'd face so that he could grab it.
That would be good, so then the lid would blow open and the cardboard will blow up.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, I can text him.
yeah, why don't you text him and see, and then, we can get a city skid loader to put over there.
And then a few customers were complaining about no butt cans for cigarettes. So I had seen that we had some up there during Marge's thing, and then they disappeared, and I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what happened there, but
I will order you some.
Speaking of which, there are designated smoking areas, right?
For patrons or for employees?
It doesn't matter, I don't care who it is. I mean.
we did
somebody-
not designate a smoking area for patrons.
Mhm.
Really?
We did for employees, but
Why wouldn't there just be a designated smoking area? End of story. I don't care if you're an employee or a patron, just
well,
a smoking area.
if we just, I guess where would a spot be, because they're gonna smoke, whether, come summertime, they're gonna be on
Well,
the patio.
I realize that. They'll be smoking while they walk in, and they'll throw their
Yeah.
butt on the ground. and-
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but still,
I thought that it was on the east side. On the back.
By the trash area, yes. Not the east side, west side, or yeah, the east side
No,
of the
the
trash.
east side.
Over
where the,
on the cement area,
Yeah.
over on the east side,
On
southeast.
this side of the
Yeah.
community center
toward the
doors,
football field.
towards the football. field,
Yes, yeah. I thought
Okay.
that's where they were supposed to go, either there or, for
Employees.
employees, we're supposed to go
But-
there or to,
General public, I wasn't aware that we needed to do that.
well, you can't, they,
And it's
The-
kind of.
Well,
like-
you know what, they
smoking laws,
do
they
at the
didn't-
hospital, they do at the clinic, they do at colleges, they do it all over the place. I don't see why we have to clean up after somebody else. Just because they smoke, they don't need to throw their cigarette butt in the middle of the street, wherever. I mean, there's a designated smoking area, end of story.
yeah, that's
I
how,
don't
that's how they
understand
are
why
at
it wouldn't be
colleges
that
and
way.
everything.
We actually can, that's what is needed, but we still need butts around
You
for
still
those who
need-
don't want
yeah.
to follow the,
Well,
follow the procedure, you know?
Well, the people that don't follow it are gonna throw it right down in front of the street door and stomp on it and walk
But
in.
most,
Drag it in with them.
but most smokers, including myself, I do a little bit of both. If I see the can, I'll throw it in the can, because I know it's gonna, there's not the old-fashioned guy with the stick walking around poking papers and cigarette butts anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Well,
But
I think there should
a
be a
bigger
designated
receptacle that we can
smoking
find
area
for
or two for everybody. And I don't care if you're an employee or not. You go here, you go here. I don't care if it's the northwest corner and the southeast corner, whatever.
I just don't think, the only thing mean, I used to smoke,
I did
but
too
I
for
was a
30
very
years.
considerate smoker.
Exactly.
I didn't smoke at the football games like a lot of people will sit there and smoke and the smoke goes up in your face. I do not think that it's good business to have it, a smoking area close to any door entrances.
The front door or the front door.
Even on the deck, I think,
I've heard about the complaints about the front door smoking and such. I agree, it's gonna, you know, the wind is gonna blow it whatever
It's- yeah,
direction it's
right.
it's
I
gonna
just-
do.
I
And
just
then
don't think
obviously
that
the
it
smoker
should be.
themselves carry
And
the,
the same
Yeah.
thing's gonna happen
Right.
when the golf course is open. People are gonna have golf carts, they're gonna be smoking while they're on their golf cart.
Right.
I mean, so I realize there are the exceptions to the rule, but I think there should be designated smoking areas, end of story, and that's all.
A tombstone.
And the people that will follow the
tombstone.
rules will follow the rules.
Right.
But some people don't stop at stop signs.
Right.
That's true.
Some people don't wear their seatbelts, even though the law says they should.
correct.
So, there should be designated smoking areas, and they should be designated as such with signs
With signs, yes.
and end of story.
Could that be something that when you get your employee policy manual figured out, that could be put in that?
Yes,
Okay.
especially for employees, and then, obviously, we'll use the same, I'm gonna suggest that we use the same employee one for guests, and then on one side of the building, and I know the patio is gonna be, probably gonna be the other one, unfortunately, because there's gonna be a lot of people there. And that's also gonna be an in and out for our golfers.
I think
Probably,
that-
probably the, you know, towards the bottom of the stairs, or the pathway that goes out, or somewhere in that neighborhood.
That's logical, I think, because of the golfing people. I mean, yeah.
Not to mention having an ash can off to the side of the doors, because they're gonna come in, the golfers are gonna come from the cart shed through either the main entrance, or they're gonna pull up off the deck and come in, so I'm thinking that's how most of it's gonna be done. And then obviously we'll put.
That's a good point. Even if there's a smoking area over here, there should be a butt can here, because
Correct.
Right.
those people that don't care might at least go, all right, fine, I'll throw it in there, instead of throwing it on the ground, so.
And putting one more towards where the parking lot is, if people walk in, they're gonna be more apt to put it in before they get closer to the door,
Yeah, yeah.
right where that artwork is.
I guess going back to the parking, you know, my opinion, Clint, is, you know, if it's snowing out, you know, I don't see it, you know, the workers parking along that sidewalk, that west sidewalk, I don't see that being a problem, but pushing them down south, so then if you do have people that come to eat, if they park it by the sidewalk, that'd be one place that would be getting cleaned for when it's snowing out.
Yeah.
And versus parking out in the middle of the parking lot and then walking through snow, maybe they would have a nice sidewalk to walk in and out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my opinion there, and then I guess the other one is, I've heard a couple people talk about, well, when they go there, they walked up to the door, and then, well, this one guy was from Hayward, and he thought that you guys were closed. Well, he walked up to the community center doors versus walking to the west.
So we need a
We need a
sign on
sign.
I
Door.
think there should be a sign on that door
Signage
that
is-
says main entrance.
Signage is coming, the sign will say clubhouse and dining.
Okay?
But we
The other
could-
sign is Morningside Event Center.
But we could just put a paper
Oh, we
there
could.
for now, I
Yep.
mean, until,
Right.
you know, on the door.
That just says main entrance.
Yeah. it-
Left.
You know,
Go left.
yeah,
End
Yeah.
of story.
I've experienced that too, so.
yeah.
The other thing we kicked around, because when I left on Saturday, I met a gentleman out in the parking lot, and he's like, "Are they open?" And I said, "Yeah, they were, or they are." And he's like, "Well, I went to this store," which was the event hall. Possibly we open that door too. I mean, it's not the end of the world if they walk in that door. Because he's like, "Well, that looks like it's the entrance door."
Yeah, it
Well,
does.
it is,
It's got the
it does, because
cover,
it's the bigger entrance.
Right?
Yeah,
But then they're gonna walk in and see all the tables and go,
I
That's
kind
my
of think
thing.
just one entrance.
See, the one thing I don't like about that is them dragging snow
Snow
and
through
crap
all
all
the-
across.
the park.
So, no more cleaning, main entrance,
Mhm.
end of story. They know the main entrance is over there.
Yeah.
Even if you come in here for the ball, whatever you're gonna come to, that's fine, but
yeah. Well, I'll get some
Would it be,
papers in the door.
would it be possible, well, yeah, either something on the window
Yeah.
of the door, or something on the window of the office with an arrow or something.
yeah.
Yeah, big blinking open sign.
No, it doesn't have to be expensive, it's just gotta be a piece of
You
paper.
don't have to blink over, I'm just, you know.
Yeah. We haven't,
Use a crayon.
we haven't got the timeline for when the signage is gonna be
Yeah.
installed.
I can get a hold of Wang and he can stand out there, direct a little bit maybe.
There you go. You, over there.
Staffing, how you doing?
Getting better on staffing. Still need kitchen, which is being worked on. Dave will bring up a new hire that I brought in. More bartender, waitress, all-around type person that will definitely help in older with experience to help with the our younger new servers. So,
I did get a compliment on, Oberg,
Anna?
and
oh
I got a
goodness.
comment. No, it was good.
Oh, I know, but
It was good. They said that she was impressed with her, that she was friendly, happy, etc. I don't think that she skipped though. And that might
she
be,
needs more drugs. Settle her rear end down a little bit. But yes, I've discussed her skipping and prancing and not to take away her horrible, her wonderful joyness of being allowed outside the house.
hey, I used to dance when I worked at Gap. I would be what?
I like the energetics, I do, and it's just, you kind of forget how special it is for young people to be first job and
Yeah.
Exactly.
and be thrilled, other than the
Yes.
fact that she's just
Happy?
naturally bouncy, like her mother.
Well, she said, they told me she came back 4 times to check on me.
Well,
Just
Yes.
making sure you're not getting away.
Don't leave without leaving me a tip. I mean,
No, she's not even.
She was a hostess.
Yeah, she's the hostess.
okay.
But everybody seems to be liking the job. I haven't run across too many that were displeased with what was going on, because they're new and they don't understand everything yet, but they will. I was pretty skeptical at first with
The age?
our young girls and our ages that we had, but they proved to come along fairly well in a month, so I'm impressed. That doesn't happen too often with new servers.
It's encouraging.
With that in mind, Clint, or did you have anything else, or should I?
Not anything, unless you guys have more questions or comments. Other than that, I am done.
Well, Clint and I interviewed an adult who would like to work full-time for us. We kind of figured out that she can get 35, maybe 34 hours a week, doing some split shift, morning or lunchtime, evening, and she's amenable to that, working as bartender and hostess when Anna isn't there. And she's got experience a year and a half at Waddy's and 4 or 5 years at an American Legion post as bartender and
Missouri.
waitress in Missouri.
So would
And I
she
guess
waitress also then, or
She,
not?
if.
She would
we-
do
if we-
whatever.
If we need to, yes.
Bartender, hostess, waitress.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess I would like to make a motion to hire Rhonda Bushby, that's the lady's name, and we negotiated a rate of pay of $9 an hour for the position bartender, hostess, filling in as waitress as needed.
How about the last name spelling?
Bushby.
Also, she was one of my prime candidates for the event coordinator when before
Oh, yeah.
Landon decided to take it upon, or was assigned to do it until we had found one, and then she has done many work. She did a lot of stuff like that in Kansas City, as far as
A lot of work with
the
floral
floral
stuff.
and wedding, doing wedding planning with flowers and such to people. And
Regarding the rate of $9 even, how, is this a tip type position too, or is there, I mean, the minimum wage just changed.
Yeah, there will be some tips involved.
yes,
Yes.
it's a tip base. It's
Bartending is a tip position.
That's fine.
Hostessing, not so much, but then she'll be doing waitress work probably too.
In between two, yeah, okay.
Well, and Landon told us today that the servers did tip out their hostess because the hostess was very beneficial to them to clear the table, to greet the guests, to get the drinks.
Oh, sure.
That's good.
She was busting.
Yeah, in between, yeah,
So-
that makes sense.
So
And
this,
since this is a full-time position, I guess maybe I should amend my motion. She would be getting benefits, retirement and health care. Health insurance.
FT with benefits?
when is she available to start?
Tuesday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Well, that's nice.
Also, Dan, the rate of pay was influenced for the split, or her,
Sometime bartending.
multiple uses.
Yep, understood, yep. Okay, well, I just didn't want that full-time part, or full-time position to
Be less than
not be.
minimum wage.
Yeah, not be legal. So I understand it now, and I believe we now have a motion by Dave to do that. Need a second.
I'll second that.
So there's a motion and a second to hire Rhonda Bushby, full-time with benefits at $9 per hour, plus the associated tips related to a 34 to 35 hour bartender slash hostess slash server position, effective tomorrow, 1/11/22. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good deal. Is there anything else, Clint, you'd like to bring to us right now? Keep in mind, obviously, that Community Center
These are the different-
Committee,
This is what they have to be. Okay. Okay.
Clint, keep in mind that the Community Center Committee and the mayor are both at your disposal. If you've got anything, it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or otherwise, that you'd like to bring, and obviously, come to the finance office, talk to somebody if you've got input too. Don't be shy.
As far as,
Anything, positive, negative, whatever you've got to bring to us, bring it.
oh, No, that's.
Because we'll do what we can. I mean, we want this to succeed.
Obviously.
It's
yes.
part of the city, so.
Right. And make a good example of what can be done.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't have any major concerns. Dave and I wanted to discuss new hourly rates for our employees now that they're off of training and stuff, and what they should be for our multi-use people and such.
Update the new minimum wage.
Minimum wage,
Yeah,
obviously, yeah.
new minimum wage, and then,
Sure.
obviously, server minimum wage is actually
Or
70,
was it 470 and 475,
it's a weird number,
473?
yeah, something like that.
And I know we suggested at a little higher than that, because you don't get employees that are going to come in and work for that plus tips, because you generally don't know what you're going to make for tips, even on an average, and such the fact that we're a small town, we don't generate a lot of businesses, say 5,000 people community. So, we do have to help make our working people comfortable and such, so.
Question for you, Clint. What's gonna happen if you're sick or you need some time off or something? We got somebody else that's gonna cook and that's all
Whether or not
covered.
I'm down.
Well, things can happen.
Yeah. anything
Right,
can happen.
right.
So I mean, I just wanna
Everybody
know,
is worried about me being burnt out right at the moment.
well, you put in a lot of hours, you know what I'm saying, and,
You
there's a lot
never
of
know, I
sick-
mean, people come in, they touch base with you, you've got COVID.
Right.
Sorry, you're down.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Mike can carry on anything I got going on in the kitchen. He'd call me and question things as far as ordering and such, but he is more than capable to take care of everything in my absence.
Sure.
But,
And we do have another adult person that's got some cooking experience, but
Mhm.
she can't interview until the night after the 19th.
Sure.
And my future endeavors here is I'll be putting, I have to put into one or maybe two of the culinary schools in the area for first or second year students who wish to come and work at
Intern, like,
a golf course, country club atmosphere somewhat,
Yeah.
for internship or full-time at some, depending on their graduating or their years that they're at. One Mitchell, and there's one in Omaha and Council Bluffs, which you never know. There could be somebody from the area that's doing that and didn't realize that, something new was open, was available for them. Beginning out, like in the beginning of my career, I started out in the Hilton in Sioux City. I was there for 6 months before I went over to the marina in South Sioux, where I spent 10 years or so before I had an opportunity to become my own boss through the companies in Sioux Falls and Deadwood and such. And so it gets to be a little scary. You don't know where you're going to end up and what job you're going to end up doing, because I dinked around as a dishwasher for a few months, but that doesn't last very long. When
Keegan will push you out of the way.
he might, as much as he eyeballs me while I'm cooking.
Thank you very much.
But
Thanks,
yeah,
Frank.
if anything happens and I'm at that point, I will let somebody know that I need to be out for a day or two to readjust myself.
Sure. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
while we're on the community center, I have the good news of showing you a check. This is, Premier Bank had donated or pledged $250,000 to our building, and this was a 5-year pledge. They've done the first 2 years, and they decided they wanted to do the last 3,
Oh, wow.
so
All at once.
check for $150,000
Wow.
is
Awesome.
That's
Yes.
in the bank, or will be tomorrow.
Thanks, Clint.
All right, have a good night.
major,
Thank you.
major thanks to
Yes, yeah.
Premier Bank
Wow.
and, my goodness. Well, that's nice to hear. I guess we'll move on to number 9, 2022 retainer agreement. I believe you see in your packet the agreement with city attorney, it says at the top. I believe it's all basically identical. I don't even think the dollar amount
It
changed.
did change.
Oh, it did?
In the past, Sam went $125 an hour and Tom was $150. And now Sam is $150.
They're all
and
150.
Tom is $150.
That's why I thought I saw the 150 and I didn't see that. Okay.
And then other than some grammatical or cosmetic changes, those were the only changes. The big thing was the rate. So, and Sam is in here now for the next couple months.
And incidentally, he did say he was available if we do need him via phone, so. We would need a motion to approve that retainer agreement with Freeburg, Nelson, and Ask.
I'll make a motion to approve retainer agreement with Freeburg Nelson and Ask 2022.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the retainer agreement with Freeburg, Nelson, and Ask. With the, evidently the only change, the only real change being the rate for Samuel Nelson, Samuel J. Nelson will be $150 per hour rather than $125 per hour compared to last year's retainer. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? Favor? Street purchase. We'll buy all the streets we can get.
So this was talked about in December. And to answer your question, the brand is John Deere. So, but yes, when we did the budget last summer, we had put in the request to do a skid steer brush, and Lonnie had demoed a front mount deck mower out in the landfill area. And he purposely tried to get it stuck, and he was able to get himself out using the front deck mower as leverage. So he was very impressed with the mower. And so we just budgeted $5,000 for those two pieces. Rankin's Auction Service has a skid steer brush for $1,200 and a front deck mower for $1,800. And we would like to utilize our mower that we have for the park to help us with snow removal. And so the remaining money that is left over from that purchase, we'd like to apply for a snow blower, a ballast box for weight, and then a cab for mower. And those are $2,225, so we would be over what we budgeted by $225 for those pieces of equipment.
52,25. Excuse me.
So this blowers, if we end up with having any snow, is just gonna be easier to blow it away from the buildings we have.
Yep, get into the more confined spaces, cart paths, the sidewalk through the park, and the sidewalk along Highway 11 going north.
And it's 54 inches wide, right?
Mhm.
So,
Those sidewalks have always been a little bit of a challenge, and Mr. Reed has always been gracious enough to do it through the park for us, but, you know, we
It's
really.
really our responsibility.
It really is, yeah. So,
Is there anyone that could be hired to do those kind of things.
So, Lucas, obviously you do snow removal and you have done snow removal for quite some time. I'm being the devil's advocate here. We could talk to you and we could say, you know, what would it cost us in 2 years, 5 years? It really wouldn't take all that long to wipe out $1,600 worth of, and, well, let's see, it's more like $2,800 because of the brush and the snow blower. But $2,800 doesn't take very long to, especially considering, I mean, we're talking about the city. We're talking about a pretty large expanses of area. We're not just talking about in front of this building or something.
I think by the time we hire somebody to run our piece of equipment, the cities, you know, and do it ourselves, you know, the city does it, definitely, yeah, it'll be money ahead in the long run, you know, because you'll be able to clean it more often at your convenience
Right.
and keep the public happy if needed, you know.
Especially that brush. That brush is
I have been so
amazing.
envious of your
Yeah,
brush
no
for so
kidding.
long.
I'm telling you.
It does such a good
It
job.
does.
Yeah, it does.
But there's a lot of maintenance to that brush, you know, so they come in wafers and, you know, if you put the good ones in, you know, I go through a set to 2 sets a year and they're about $1,200, you know, for a set.
But of course, well,
But I do
and
not-
we probably maybe we would do the equivalent of what you do, custom work, you know, you do a bunch of snow removal
Yeah.
compared to the average.
Even if it would last 2 years, you know, it's adequate, it's fine.
Sure.
And then it's kind of a job, I think Lonnie can put them in himself, but it's a job to put them in,
I'm sure.
so. But I think we kind of talked the other meeting, I think Mitch, we maybe asked him to run the machine,
Yep.
and I think he would have the time,
Mhm.
so.
He doesn't work in the winter
Sure.
currently.
Or maybe
Well-
Jimmy could
Yeah,
help
that's
out too
what I'm
part-time.
thinking.
Between those two, I think they probably have it covered.
The sidewalk through the park and the sidewalk up to Quick Corner, Quick Stop, probably wouldn't need to be done the same day that, you know, if they're plowing snow downtown.
Right.
The
Not
only thing
only,
is,
not only that, it's just, you're done. I mean, usually.
It also will be out here.
Yeah.
but I would say, you know, keeping the sidewalk open through the park would be good for the kids that are walking to
Yeah, I think
school.
so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Well, they have to have them cleaned within 24 hours.
And that sidewalk is our last thing that our guys do. I mean,
Yeah.
they really concentrate on the streets, they
Yeah.
concentrate on the alleys. And depending on the amount of snow that you get, that might be a full day for them. And then Lonnie is very particular about getting the snow off Second Street. So that's his next big thing.
Yeah.
So sidewalks don't have as much weight with him. I mean, he's more concerned about the drivers and, I mean, he does a great job.
Yeah.
I never.
But I
worry
do
about
think we
snow
need to have it
removal.
clean because we tell people you have to have it clean. And if we're not gonna get ours done,
Right.
how can we expect somebody else to do it? So I think that's, you know, it's something,
Yeah.
I think it'd be very important to have all the, you know, sidewalks and whatnot cleaned by business hours opening
Yeah.
and.
Yeah, especially,
Yes.
I mean, if the school's closed, I understand.
yes,
The next day,
right.
get them done.
You
I
know,
mean,
you know, you gotta use your judgment with
Yeah.
everything. If it's days, if it just keeps snowing, obviously, you know.
right, right.
So the blower and the ballast box and the cab and the brush are from the snow fund.
Yes.
And then the front deck skid loader mower is basically solid waste to be used out there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of the 54-inch snow blower, ballast box, cab, skid steer brush from Rankin Sales, from this, funds coming from the snow fund. And, yeah, add that fast. 28, 3,033, $3,425.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say?
Lucas?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear you ask for a second, I'm just waiting for you to ask for it.
To approve the purchase of the John Deere 54-inch snow blower for 1,600, balance box for 240, cab for 385, and skid steer brush for $1,200 from Rankin Sales using the snow fund. Is there any other discussion?
I would assume Lonnie can put the cab on and whatnot.
Yep,
Yep.
and when we bought that mower, we bought it with the intention of these add-ons.
Having
So
that ability,
he
yeah.
put the 3-point in and the other thing that was needed.
Yep.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So then there's a motion, well, we would need a motion to approve the front deck mower, and that would be using solid waste funds. Now, it says skid steer brush on the document here, but that's not correct.
No, check the next line.
No, I'm talking about this one.
Oh.
And this one says they're both, but,
Skid steer.
yeah, I'm sorry. It's just the front deck mower that is in question now, and that's from solid
Are
waste.
these used? Is that why the price is discounted, or we just got a good price from?
I think they're new. I think they just haven't moved. So the,
Pretty good find.
the blower ballast box and cab I know are new.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the front deck mower is also new.
But
Well, I'm assuming they're
other
all
than-
new. They
Other
just-
than what it was demonstrated.
Yeah, unless it was the one we used.
No, because we rented that from Rental.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
When they're the same brand, rental and,
Yeah, I'll be darned. That's kind of cool.
That place over there is amazing.
yes.
I love it.
Where's that at? Is that Sioux Center?
Sioux Center.
Yeah, yeah.
We got a location up in T as well. Yeah, my John Deere brush, well, I just ordered another new one, they're, yeah, $7,200.
For the brush?
Just the brush through John Deere. So that's what kind of made me wonder, you know?
Yeah. Well, so before we let them get away, we would need a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the John Deere skid steer front deck mower for $1,800 from Rankin Sales out of our solid waste fund.
Second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the purchase of a John Deere skid steer front deck mower for $1,800 from Rankin Sales using solid waste funds. Excuse me. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. How about the newspaper? I think we should buy our own newspaper. No, wait, no, the newspaper was just bought by another newspaper.
I don't think this is very controversial, so I'll make the motion to approve Alcester Union Hudsonite as the official newspaper for the city of Alcester for 2022.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the Alcester Union Hudsonite, which I don't believe the name of our paper changed, right? Just the ownership.
Right.
Okay. Alcester Union Hudsonite, official newspaper for the city of Alcester for 2022. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and the official bank. We've used pretty Premier Bank, well, yeah, we've been using Premier Bank, I'll just say that. I was gonna say forever. It hasn't been, but since they've been Premier Bank here in Alcester, so I don't know if anybody has any other suggestion, but I would need a motion and a second.
I'll motion to approve Premier Bank as the official bank for City of Alcester 2022.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve Premier Bank as the official bank for the City of Alcester for the year 2022. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the golf course tree trimming.
I guess Lonnie hit me up the other day about wanting some trees, quite a few trees trimmed. One possible maybe cut down, that's splitting down through the center, he don't know until we get into it. So yeah, I told him kind of what I was thinking on the price, and then whatever it takes, a bit longer, I'll just donate my time, you know what I mean? So this is gonna just be a flat rate, you know, of the 2,100.
So they'll be just laying there. I mean, Lonnie will have to
Clean them
take
up.
them out, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand, yeah. You're getting them to the ground anyway.
Yeah, there's quite a few trees, I would say, not all the way down from where the pond is at, but just to the north of that, and then that line, and then kind of wraps up and around, so. It'll take
Well,
a couple days. to trim.
Last year Lonnie rented a
Left.
lift,
Yeah.
and he said there was some kind of exhilarating experiences.
Well, and you've had
He's-
a lot of experience doing this.
You've had a bucket, you've got a bucket truck
Yeah.
apparently, a different situation. The only thing that's, right now, this is definitely something that needs to be done. I mean, it's been a long time since we've tackled a whole lot of this. Lonnie did number 3 last summer. He did the roads by the, or the trees by the highway the year before that. This is kind of a wintertime project, so you can move them when it's frozen. The only thing that right now that is holding me up from approving this or going in support of this is, we've got like $13,000 worth of unexpected expenses that have kind of come out of the woodwork in our community center. And I guess I'd like to maybe postpone this a month to see what those are gonna get resolved. We've got to talk with the contractor and electrician, and we've got some things that aren't done yet.
It wouldn't have to be done right now anyway. It could be done in a month and ground would still be pretty darn froze.
Unless it's -10 out, you know?
Yeah,
And I don't think
well,
we're gonna
yeah.
Sit up in that bucket.
Or-
I think the only thing Lonnie was kind of pushing is there wasn't any snow, so it's
Yeah,
a lot
right,
easier
right.
cleaning them up.
Yeah.
But it don't matter to me either way on this deal.
I don't know, what are you thinking, Pat? You got a better idea of finances than?
The way I feel, $2,100, if the trees do need to be trimmed, it's worth it.
Oh, it's definitely a good idea. I
Get
think
it
it's a good price.
done now
Yeah.
while the course is cleared. I'm hoping we'll have a different resolve on the other 13.
Okay.
Do you ever do anything regarding stump removal too, or not? Do you? Okay.
I ran the stump grinder.
Oh, you just rent one that fits on your skid loader and do it, yeah.
Lonnie's rented one too.
What's that cost? I mean, this is not for the city, I'm sorry. I'm just asking as an aside.
I want to say it was a couple $100. I don't know if it was for a half a day or a full day, I don't remember that.
I thought it was 300 a day or something like
Yeah,
that.
Okay.
it's reasonable.
Thank you.
It's a time-consuming job.
Oh, I know. I well know, yeah. Well, so I don't know if there's any other discussion or whether you want to move to a motion, but if there isn't any other discussion, I would need a motion Or we move on to number 14.
Well, with the comments that I've received from Pat, I would make a motion that we approve hiring Lucas to trim trees between holes 5 and 7 and 9 and 7, $2,100 from the golf fund.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to hire Lucas Dreesen to trim, it says maples, but I'm not gonna limit it to that, but trees, between holes and 5 and 7 and 9 and 7 fairways for $2,100 coming out of the golf fund. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Passed. Golf cart purchase or lease discussion, we kind of discussed that a couple of meetings ago.
Yeah, I called the guy today again and talked with him about that. He doesn't know for sure if he would even have any carts. He said he ordered in 2020, he ordered 14 and got 10. Last year, he ordered 30 and got 14.
They're all sitting on a ship out in the ocean.
So, but he said he has overhauled 2 for us to do the lease thing. He's got our name on them.
Well, so
I mean, not lease thing, the trade-in.
normal
purchase.
trade-in that
Yeah.
we have been
So
accustomed
if
to.
we would want to continue that, we were going to trade in 1 older model, I think they're 2005s, and he has 2 2013 models that he would do, and the budgeted amount was, I think, 6,000 or less.
So one older one for 2 2013 versions approximately.
We're hoping we get a little bit more business, so we'll need an extra cart.
I can't imagine that we wouldn't.
There were 3 or 4 days last year when we had people waiting for the cart. Good golfing days, so. One more cart would probably be nice.
We can't do much indoors anymore without wearing a mask, so it's pretty easy to golf.
What was he giving us for trade price?
Well, that's the trade-in price. So we get 2 reconditioned 2013 models, and we'll be trading in one 2005. And it's going to be 6,000 or less. He said the price of new carts went up $1,000 last year. I don't know what they went up to, I didn't ask. But he said basically he has no new carts and he can send out a long-term lease.
Actually, just to get 2 carts for $6,000, especially when they've been refurbed, that's a pretty good deal. Anyway, so that being said, the lease would be the only option.
No.
No.
I'm sorry, the purchase.
Purchase.
The trade-in / purchase would be the only option. One older cart for 2 2013-ish for $6,000 or less to boot. I would need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to trade in the 2005 golf cart for 2 2013 refurbished carts up to $6,000 in purchase price.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the purchase of 2 2013 or later golf carts with the trade-in of one of our older 2005-ish golf carts for $6,000 or less. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, downtown garbage cans. Got an eco-tainer thing here.
Well, this was a email that I got from Lauren Fisher. I've been working with Lauren on options for replacing our downtown cans for probably since 2015. Their downtown cans are a little bit of a hassle because we have those metal cages and the dome lids, and a lot of our dome lids have broken or they've completely blown away and they're not anywhere to be found. So that's been an issue, and then the type of can that we use is just a standard black 33-gallon can that fits inside that cage. And so oftentimes, either the city employees dump it or Lauren will dump it for us, but Lauren doesn't use liners. So Lauren finally came across these cans, and I did call the company. These particular cans, even though the company was in Lincoln, Nebraska, I was very excited about that. The cans are actually made in West Virginia. And Lauren said these are very nice cans. They have a nice weight to them. They're not going to blow around. These are ones that he can dump. So when he drives through town on a weekly basis, these will work on his automatic arm.
Oh, they will?
Only problem he'll have is, and I'm just thinking about by the bar, sliding it out. Somebody will have to get out, slide it out to the street, or will they be positioned?
They will be positioned
Okay,
in a different location. They won't be up against the buildings like
Yep,
they are now.
yep.
They will be out.
And they will not blow them, even if they're.
well, it says up to 70 pounds pedestal weight it could be added. 70 pounds is not gonna blow around very much.
And you're not gonna slide that across that.
No, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
How many are we thinking?
well, I was talking to Lonnie about that, and he and I both had the same number in our head. We were both thinking about 8 units.
How many?
8. They're about $500 a piece.
So we would be purchasing these, not like.
These would be ours. Yep, and even though they say recycling on them, we can actually put whatever we want on the side. So if we want to say City of Alcester or a small town treasure,
Right.
she said, just give her a decal or give her a drawing and she'll have a decal made. And we can either put it on one side, 2 sides, 4 sides, whatever we would like. And our color options are royal blue, a medium blue, a dark green, a tan, or a black. So they don't, in this particular flyer, don't have all the color options, but that's just what she told me on the phone. So, and freight on 8 units would be $900. So it'd be about $5,000.
$5,000.
But they have a hinged lid. And for sure, Lonnie and I were thinking we would put them on the 4 corners on 2nd Street in Iowa. So right outside the bank, on the corner of the bar, where Pookie's stand is, and then the funeral home area, or where the Christmas tree was. And then we put one, I was actually thinking we should put one on 2nd Street and Dakota by the post office. And Pete's Produce currently has one, so somewhere between Pete's Produce and the bar would be another spot.
Did you say by Arlene's?
And there is one by Arlene's, which Lonnie and I am really not sure why there is one there, but
Problem is, it's very full and it's always blowing all over the place because there's no cover.
yeah,
How many workable covers do we have?
I don't know, because they've either blown off, broken.
These $500 units are the 58-gallon version?
There's really not much price difference between the 40 and the 58.
We want to go with the biggest one.
That was my thought too.
There's no reason not to,
But,
if we're
I
gonna do
think,
it.
I think the 58s, I talked to the place too, I think the 58s are $100 higher.
I just don't know that you need them in the middle of the box. Haywarden doesn't have them in the middle of their box.
The other thing I was thinking about is when we have parades, or when we have something
Well,
going on
yeah,
downtown.
but you know,
Haywarden has them in the middle of, I know they have them like.
they have them
it's
on the
not-
corners.
It's not right at that Hayes Pharmacy corner, it's
Booth
closer to
Pharmacy.
the bar.
Booth Pharmacy.
Yeah, Booth.
Yeah, I knew what you're talking
Where, it's closer to that, it's Waddy's
Waddy's.
other
Mhm.
bar,
The
or
other bar.
whatever. So there's one right in the middle there. I thought there was one in the middle also on the side where Dollar General is too, but I don't know that for
about.
sure.
Yeah, and
I'm just in my
there's
mind's
one on
eye.
the
I
corner
can-
by People's Bank. There's not one across the street from People's Bank. There's not one over by First State River's Edge Bank. I mean, you know.
You know, that's a valid point. The
You
more
got
we
'em
put
four
out there,
corners.
the more they're gonna get filled. Vicky made a good point. I drove down through the park the other day and I thought, you know, I'm just gonna look inside this garbage can. And I opened it up and I went, oh my gosh. And I shut it immediately. I thought, what is going on here? Well, obviously, people that don't wanna pay to have their own garbage can.
So then they just take it to the park?
I
They
don't
do.
I don't think what's
They
something
do.
that.
Really?
Yes.
800
Yep.
gallon thing that's
There's
up by the
been
water
several
tower.
times where
That
I-
is the, that, I
Oh,
don't
that's
know if
off.
it's an 800
They're
gallon one,
300
but
gallon.
it's one of those great big, huge round ones
That's
that's
what
down by
you're
the, down by
Yeah.
the camp spots.
Last,
I mean, they do it all the time.
The other one gets full too, by
But
the,
last
Yeah,
year-
up
Shelter
by
house.
the water tower, it's full.
but Lonnie takes those big ones. Last year he did it. He pulled them because people were doing that.
Uh-huh.
So he pulled them away from the park during the winter, because who's really gonna be, I mean, we have two little trash cans there, which I need to go check. But if Lonnie takes them and puts them away, which I think should be done during the winter, because why do we
Why are
need them?
we
if-
paying,
Or
why is the
somebody
city
else's-
paying
Yes, I
for
agree.
somebody else to throw
Yeah.
their garbage away? We're paying a tonnage, no matter what. We're paying for whatever tonnage goes out of here. Thank goodness some of that money comes back to us, but
I say they just pull those, like he should do that every year.
You know,
Especially since
well, we
it's full
can
right now.
discuss that later too,
Yes.
but it's, the whole point is, how many do we need?
How
Do we
many do
need
we
8
really
or do we
need? I mean,
need
you
4?
know, We're a town of half the size of Hayward.
Yep.
I don't think I wanna drive down the street and see garbage cans. That's all I wanna see. And I like the look of these, and I agree, we need them. I don't think we need 8. I'm sorry, I just don't think we need 8.
I'd like to agree with that. I think we should try to start with 4.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking,
And
4
then
of them.
then we can recycle or
Mhm.
use our
Yes.
cages with the tops that actually work.
Right.
In
In
the
other
other-
spots.
And the other places that don't get used as often, yeah.
At the swimming pool.
And if we don't want one by Arlene's Cafe, they
Yeah.
should be moved someplace else.
Yep, yep. If it's not there, at least they won't throw stuff in and it won't blow all over the street.
Mhm.
That's,
you know, the bigger, if the top opens wide open, or the bigger the opening,
Yes, you're right.
you see people taking
That-
big,
well,
Yes.
big bags of garbage. I mean, I see that at
Yeah.
the park. I've seen, I don't know, 4 or 5 people, they have their own trash cans. They stop there, they open up their trunk, they open up the whole top on that big can and
And
fill it
dump.
up. You know,
today, I don't even know what was in there. I drove by and I looked and I thought, it almost looked to me like one of those tables. I mean, it was huge, it was just,
So
It's
how
'cause
big is
Christmas
this
just-
opening?
yeah, I'm sure.
You know, maybe, you know, like this, maybe there needs to be
15
some kind
by
of a
7.
strap.
Well,
So the whole top can't open up, so
That's-
whatever goes through, I mean, whatever they put in has to go through this little.
Exactly. Well, that's one of the best
Which
parts
one
about
now you're thinking?
Well, any of them, but what I'm saying is, you know, if the whole top opens up, they're just gonna drive up to it, open
But
the
it
whole
will,
top.
won't it? It will open up. They
Yes.
can
It
lift
will
it,
open
right?
up.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm saying is,
That's how they dump it.
Yeah.
but I suppose what, we just have to unstrap it, you know, which is another job for somebody, but unstrap it
true.
before Lauren comes, you know?
Optional fully automated gravity latch.
You know, the dumpsters at down at the village.
What that means is it has to
You should see
be
the
at
people
so
fill
much
those
of
up
an
with
angle
garbage.
before it'll open.
Oh,
And I forget
Dump
what
it
the
in the
one
village,
there
dump it in the
I just
shop
can't
there.
believe that.
Oh.
It has to be like 45
It's
degrees
cool.
or,
well, that's kind of cool. Now, here,
Okay,
that,
what now?
this might help what we're talking about. There, on the back of this
Oh,
page,
yeah.
it says optional fully automated gravity latch. And Lauren told her that
Until
it
it
has to
tipped.
be at X degrees
Before
before
it'll
it'll
come
tip
up.
open. So
They
at
all
least
do
sitting
that?
there, I mean, if the
Well,
thing
it
weighs
says
70
optional.
pounds, they're not gonna
So-
be,
So maybe we wanna check on that price on the optional gravity thing.
yeah.
$48.
Oh, never mind.
or maybe we
Did
already
you
have.
How much were the cans
Did
each?
you talk to Deborah Smith? Okay.
So
So
how much
instead
were-
of 500, it'd be about 600 if we were going with the big guy.
It'd be about $600 for the big one with the gravity latch?
No,
With the big one, it's
Six.
according to what the lady called me today, I sent an email message to her, and she got back to me today. She said it was $5.99 for the big ones, and $48 for the gravity latch.
So
650.
$6.50. And I don't know whether the shipping will be almost the same, or for, if we do 4 of them, whether it'll be half $900, or,
Well, and maybe if we don't get a full truck, if Lauren's gonna buy any of them, I
Oh.
could have 8 of them shipped here and Lauren get the other 4 for somewhere else,
oh,
but.
so he is thinking about using these someplace.
Well, he's the one that thought of us when he got this information.
He doesn't want to buy 8 of them and rent them to us, does he?
I don't wanna rent them from him.
Well, I don't know, that $3 or whatever I paid
$1.25.
I think that's
a month is
Deal.
a.
I like
heck of a
that.
deal, yeah.
Yes, I do too.
But, no, I know that 8 is probably excessive downtown, but at one time, we actually had 12 of those cans downtown. Our old, and then I moved some of them up to the ball field, so
30,
that,
30-gallon barrels.
Oh, because we have one on the, there's one where Pies is,
Mhm,
Yeah, there still is.
Yeah.
okay, and,
There's one at Pete's,
mhm,
there's one in front of the bar,
yeah.
so there's 3 right there on Second Street.
And
There's
around
one
the
in front of the
corner.
bank, that's 4 on Second Street.
And there
Is
used
there
to
one
be
by
one outside
Cookie?
of our office, on the, in front of the
Yeah.
Audi.
So that would have been
That's gone.
5,
and then there's Cookies.
oh, 6, 7.
And then.
Arlene's, I counted
Arlene's,
7.
7.
I counted 7 downtown.
So again, I mean, saying 4, it at least gets
It's a start,
some of them out of there.
yeah.
And then there are 4 that, if they've got that
That gravity.
optional full automated gravity latch thing, they're not gonna be able to lift it up and put a, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, golf cart in there
Yeah.
or whatever. So,
And, yeah. Someone's got to clean snow around all these trash cans.
That's true.
that's a good point too.
That
Do you
is,
think there's someplace they could be put so that it's not gonna mess up the snow removal?
see, that's the other thing Lonnie and I talked about. My thought is, except for the one outside the bank, to yank them all in the winter, so that
Oh.
snow removal doesn't have to go.
So by the bar, where that the light pole is at,
Uh-huh.
you put it right on the east side of that, right where the city sewer,
Yep.
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
right there, year round would be fine.
Okay.
That'd be a good spot for a year round one, I would say.
And maybe over by Pete's, right next to that pole there.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fine too.
I mean, they're both on the same side of the street, but who cares? At least there are 2 there on Second Street where the major part of the parking
What's
is.
nice about that location is when you come from the mailbox, you can put the
Your junk mail in there.
Exactly.
mail in there because they don't have anything.
No, they took their garbage can away.
Suppose we can have one by the post office?
Okay, so now that we've digressed to this point, shall we move on to a motion to purchase some of these cans or not?
And if you want, I can actually get a formal quote. And if you just tell me an amount that you would like.
And then we can deal with it
Lead
next
time
meeting.
is 4 weeks.
Speaking of next meeting,
I did not put mine on.
I
I'm sorry.
wondered that too.
I wondered about when will the next meeting be next week?
That was my thought, but
I
that's.
would think it
We
should
need
be.
to stick with it, otherwise we're gonna be-
I think, I agree. So, anyway,
Okay,
that's a good idea. Then we'll just table number 15 until we talk
do you want
next.
a quote for 4?
That'd be
Plus
I
great.
think so,
Yep.
yeah, with freight,
Plus
with that
freight
latch.
and the
The latch.
optional fully
Yes.
automated gravity latch.
Do you want any logo on them, or do you want any verbiage
How much
on
is
there?
it to put logo on?
I don't know, she didn't tell me.
Find out.
If it's free,
Yeah, City of
if it's
Alcester.
free, just City of Alcester. If-
Yeah,
Because then it differentiates from
Right.
Fisher.
yes,
But if it's not free, just blue.
yeah.
What color?
I
I
would
think the
say-
same color as Fisher. I do.
That's
You've
kind
got
of
dark
like this
blue.
blue here that's on this side, in my mind, that's just a dark blue, I don't
And
know.
the blue that's on there reminds me of the cup colors.
It does, yes.
That's a good point too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, 15 is gone. 16 is finance office updates. Pat Jurens, warrants. Motion to approve December warrants first.
I do want to brag a little bit. So Lonnie took one of his wastewater collection classes, and he passed that with far more than he needed, so he got his
Yay.
certification. So he's also on deck to do wastewater collection class 2. So there's that.
Good news.
And then, something else that Lonnie and I have been working on is, we started talking about chip sealing, because typically February 1st, we have the paperwork ready and send out the bids. And last summer, a lady from Rose Engineering came to me and said that she's been working with communities in our area to have all of us put all of our resources together for bidding power and do the chip sealing and fog sealing. And the communities that participated in it last year were Beresford, Betty's, Kennebec, Kimball, Mount Vernon, Hickstown, and Platt. And I believe Centerville and us are talking about putting it on the docket this year. They put it out to bids, the engineering firm, and 4 companies submitted bids last year. And with fog sealing, the bid was $1.95, which we paid $1.65 without fog seal. So that is something that we're kind of interested in doing. The engineering cost is $3,000 for that. But basically what they do for that is they will come and drive our streets, and they will make the decisions of which streets need the attention. And they provide the traffic control, and they will also verify that the oil mixture that we spec is what is used at the time it's going down.
Will they collate with Banner so that they don't put a whole bunch of money into a street that in a year is gonna be dug completely up and changed into
Well,
new sewer?
They'll work with Lonnie too, and Lonnie knows what's going on with the sewer project as well,
Well,
but.
I just don't wanna,
Right.
I mean, we do something and then we tear it up.
Right, no,
That's asinine.
no, that will not be.
Well, we would have the final say on that, which street, I mean, they could recommend, could we
That's
say
a good
no?
point, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure after our spring breakup,
Yeah.
whatever that's gonna be, Lonnie will meet with this individual and they'll probably together drive the streets and, make that determination. I have a feeling because we did so much on the west side last year that it will be center and east, so. But I don't know until the street breakup
With that
happens.
$3,000 engineering fee, we're not gonna save ourselves any money.
No, but you do get the benefit of the bulk,
Fog sealing
the
as well.
bulk
You
bidding.
get the benefit of the fog sealing, basically.
Not for a whole lot more,
30 cents.
Right, yeah.
not much
Is
more.
this, is this a square yard?
Mhm. So last year, these quotes are hard to read, but the bids they did last year, I mean, it was $493,000 for all those communities. So they get bulk pricing on rock, which we don't. When we buy small amounts, they get bulk pricing on the oil. So that's how they can, I mean, it is a good plan. But
So we paid, you said we paid $1.65?
without fog sale.
Tell me what that is.
That's what the county does on all the roads.
So black, makes it black.
After it's all
Right.
done, it
Okay.
makes it really nice and pretty, and the rock doesn't end up in your
Okay.
ditch.
So
Thank you.
then your husband doesn't have near as many windshields to fix.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, mine was a big rock.
Okay.
No, Lonnie and I have gone back and forth on this, because
How many yards do we do
about 13,000 square yards and some change, like 13,300.
And what's the difference in price between what we paid without the fog seal and what they're,
In 2019, we got a quote, because that's when we started exploring the option of doing fog sealing, and it added $1
So then it would be $2.65.
versus $1.25, which is what the bid was last year. And they use the same emulsion that we currently use, which is that CRS2P,
70 cents times how many square feet?
15,000.
about 13,000 and some change.
Save 6,100 bucks. I mean, that's 6,100 bucks worth of garbage cans we could buy, or whatever. I mean, I don't care what it is.
Money's money.
Street sweeping, whatever.
It also does relieve a lot of the pressure off of Lonnie and Dale.
Yeah, them making the determination, I mean, you really should take care of this, 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 and this. Okay, that makes sense.
Does this company do any line painting or anything?
Oh, that I don't know.
You know, like on.
Bros
like-
Engineering, B-R-O-S-E, is that
They're
right?
the engineering
Yeah.
firm.
You know, like on First Street, like from the fire station, and going east, I see old painted lines on the streets, you know? There's days I'll be coming down the street and people drive right down the center.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I know
And
it.
some of these wider streets that are more traffic, got semis going down Dakota, I think some of those streets we should maybe stand there and
Okay.
paint the lines.
No one's ever asked that of us,
I mean,
other than parking spaces.
I don't
Good
know.
point, it's a very good
I
point.
think it would be, you know, you come around that curve there
Yeah.
on First Street,
Yeah.
and half the
There you
time
go,
you
we
go
got
around your side of the street.
$6,100 worth of paint we could put on the
You
street.
know, and just my opinion,
Well, there's $3,000 experience.
Yeah,
Well, no, but that was 9,100. I came up with 9,100, so I said it was $6,000.
it would look nice too, more professional.
It really
on the
would,
streets,
yeah.
you know.
and if we had a good base, which some of our streets, we
Yeah.
don't. But if we had a good base, fog sealing can add 7 years of life to chip sealing.
Really?
Just because
There's a
you're
good point
you're
right there.
keeping the rock on.
There are a lot of our streets that do not have sewer under them.
So when do we have to make this decision?
Well, Lonnie and I are still working on this, and so we will present something at the February meeting. But I just wanted to let you know this is kind of what we're talking about, so that you kind of have an idea.
Okay, so that's good news. Let's go to the warrants. We would need a motion to approve the December warrants.
I'll make a motion to approve December warrants.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve this December 2021 warrants. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? How about a resolution for the City of Alcester 2022 fees? As you can see, they're right here in front of you.
Is anything changed Other than
The
the
cart
cart storage
storage.
fees,
That is
is,
correct.
we went with 150 and 170?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've been telling people 175 for electric, so that we have it.
Oh, okay.
This
So
does
none
not,
of the other things have changed.
this does not say anything about the change in sewer fees that just happened, right?
That's an ordinance, isn't it?
That is, so this resolution of fees are things like permit costs,
Yep,
fines,
okay.
um,
So the answer is no, it does not say that.
No.
Okay, thank you. We would need a motion to approve the City of Alcester 2022 resolution of fees as printed as you see it.
I'll make the motion to approve the City of Alcester 2022 resolution fees.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the City of Alcester 2022 resolution of fees as printed on the 4-page document in your packet. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, how about the 2022 municipal election information?
so we have 5 vacancies, or will have 5 vacancies. And first day is to start circulating a petition. It'll be January 28th of 2022. They need to be returned to our office on February 25th of 2022. I haven't gotten our numbers from the county, but I will get the registered voters in each ward and let you know the number of signatures needed.
And assuming there is an election, there will be an election on April 12th.
That is correct.
And there's kind of a color-coded chart there that shows you what would happen in 2022. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's very scary.
Lucas, Darla, David, Vacant, and Linda. So, that's information only. 2022 salaries. Mine. In the packet, it's an executive session thing. So, we need a motion to move into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1 personnel to discuss the 2022 salaries.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1 personnel.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made, seconded to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1 for personnel reasons, discussing salaries for 2022. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session at 7:54 p.m.
But I don't know, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'm not
All
gonna-
right.
Look at that. Go. No, I just doesn't want to go. I don't know. This could be the battery that was lower than the other one. They get hot, and that's the problem. These things are designed to operate for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
As you're skiing down.
Yeah, or jumping out of an airplane. Which I'm gonna do in April.
Are you for real? You're gonna skydive?
Yeah,
What are you gonna do?
jump out of an airplane.
Are you really? Oh,
Yeah.
You're a heart
It's
patient.
fun.
Yeah, well, I might not be a heart beater anymore after that. All right, we are out of executive session at 8:58 PM. And we would need a motion to approve the 2022 salaries.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2022 salaries.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the 2022 salaries. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Reminders and updates. Dog and cat license deadbeats need to be in by January 31st, 2022, and shovel all walkways and path to the water meter when, what is it, over 2 inches?
Well, it's not even that, because I read the meters for the town when I was uncoded, and there are bushes that are deadly. There's a lot of stuff covering the meters. And this is a great time to get rid of that.
So it shouldn't just say shovel all, clear a path to the water meter reading sensor.
Yep.
That's a good reminder to everyone out there in Alcester land. Number 17, updating the volunteer roster for workers' compensation.
So you two are gonna possibly do some hours volunteer?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
add one Alverson and Pat Jurens on the volunteer list at the Alcester Community Center.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to add,
I have some discussion on that.
okay,
Okay, I'm trying to get in
one
before.
Miss Alverson and Pat Jurens to the Alcester Community Center workers' compensation volunteer roster. Is there any discussion?
Yes. And the only thing, Clint asked me, stopped me today when I was out walking and said, are they just going to come up there and work, or he doesn't think he needs you just to come up, and he wants some kind of semblance of order. Does that make sense?
I want to train, is what I want to do. I want to fine tune our
Okay.
servers.
So, but he doesn't, do you understand what I'm saying? He doesn't
He
want.
needs to, Clint needs to schedule them.
Right, yes,
When-
so that you're not just coming up there all the time. That
Um,
was what he asked.
I asked him today when he was in, because he's got the new schedule done. And I said, I hadn't printed it out for myself, but I said, are there areas that you want us to be there?
Mhm.
I asked him that.
Okay,
If I look at the schedule and I see holes or things where I feel like maybe there's not quite enough staff, or we've got really young, inexperienced staff,
okay. Okay,
Then-
but, yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you what he told me this afternoon.
we're not trying to be obnoxious in any
No.
way, shape, or form. We're just trying to be helpful.
No, he
Because-
just wants to make sure that you're not just gonna be up there every night, somebody's not gonna be up there when he's got these other people. That was all I wanted
It's
to tell
not
him.
our intention.
Okay,
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And is there an executive session that is needed aside from the one we've already had? I'm not going to wait too long. Hearing none. Number 19 is a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn council.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn the city council. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 9:03 PM.